boy, the Meadows, the big homie, Green Bay, the Yay, coming at round up. Before I get started, let me say this sincerely and with all due respect. I hear a lot of people in their feelings about what I'm saying. First and foremost, I don't give. Listen, anybody that know me, know I don't care about your feelings. As long as I'm not lying on you or slandering you, Kool-Aid, I'm not in your business. I'm telling my life story. If you have a problem with anything about what I'm saying, tell yours. You didn't go through what I've been through. You didn't do the time I did. You wasn't in the hole like I was in the hole. You wasn't pronounced dead. You wasn't stabbed up twice. You wasn't left. You wasn't turned in by your own. You wasn't given three-year dumps consecutively back to back. You didn't go through what I've been through. So you don't get to dictate how I narrate my story. Notice emphasis on my story. You don't like what I'm saying? Tell yours. Tell yours. As long as I'm keeping it real, it is what it is. And I don't give a damn about your feelings. I don't take orders. I never did. I ain't asked for nobody permission to do what I'm doing. Just like I ain't asked nobody for permission when I left the game. When I say to hell with y'all. When I said I won't no GPK no more. And I'm not no GPK. So I don't ask the question. I don't answer the GPKs. I'm me. And I'm ferocious by myself. That's why ain't nobody go try me. Now, sorry for displaying that side of me. But sometimes you gotta remind people you still lying. I just choose to lay up under the tree. I done had all my fights. I'd rather lick my wounds. But don't get it twisted. Now, I believe when I left off, I was talking about High Desert and how me, Vato, and J-Lo, it was and touched on. We kind of like we really got close. I stayed locked in the lower unit, so I couldn't get to where they were. They were like in level 1. I was in level 2. But J-Lo used to come down there and talk to me a lot. You know, it was tension on the yard between the Gersons in the 60s for, obvious reasons. Reflections of what was going on on the street. It was an incident in the gym up there. They had this rinky-dink gym before they built the new one up there by the chow hall. It wasn't real big. Matter of fact, they converted a chow hall into a gym. It was real small. And I remember the homies got into it with the 60s up in there, and when I finally made it to level 1, I'm going to pick it up from there because, like I said, I'll be all day trying to, go over everything that happened. So I'm going to just go over what need to be go over. So when I finally get to level 1, we already discussing how we don't like how things going, and we don't like the rank, the structure, none of that. We were messing with them boys. It came out about what, old boy Fraud was doing, you know what I mean? And he wasn't the only one. It was a bunch of stuff going on their yard, and it was a bunch of Gersons on their yard. And the fact that it was allowed to go on, a lot of people didn't like that. And we had this one homeboy, he used to cut hair. His name was Donald Bird, Thunderbird. You know what I mean? And Thunderbird used to be able to go back to the hole. So the homies that was in the hole, we was able to send stuff back there when he go back there to cut hair in Unit 2. And when I moved down there, me and J-Lo ended up moving in the same unit. And we noticed off the white streets, they kind of like broke away from the north. It was D-Dub, Country, and Nick Knock. But they had G-Force hanging with them. I don't know what that was about. G-Force is from 50s. You know, Freight Train from Hard Time Hustler, Murder Man from Donna, LaRon from ABM, L. Mick from Paru. It was so many people on that yard, man. It wasn't even funny, man. I remember the blacks got into it with the Indians, and Pokey P knocked out the fat Indian Junior over there in Unify. Y'all remember that? When the Indians ran down there on the blacks with the bats, that Pokey P knocked out Junior in front of Unify. That was called. He used to go down on High Desert Yard. You know, it was wide open. It was so wide open, and it was ran by these two wardens, Shomick and McBurney. They was from Illinois. It was wide open. Telephones. It was so big it looked like a little city. It was too much for them to really supervise. They couldn't watch all us. So we was be doing what we wanted to do. It was just too many people on that yard. That yard was too big. So we was doing what we wanted to do. But when we moved down there, you know, J-Lo started doing his thing. You know, him and Sweet Pea from Paru hooked up. I don't know what exactly they did, but somehow they linked up with him, Sweet Pea, and Malik Blue Balls from 60s. They was bringing in they little dope or whatever, and J-Lo was sewing it up. He was doing his thing. Now, J-Lo, the first thing he started doing to show his dissatisfaction and rebelliousness is J-Lo stopped sharing. Meaning, people that used to maybe get something every now and then wasn't getting nothing. He cut a lot of people off, you know, and it was people on that yard like Tyro, Tall Dog, Moski, Tiny. It was a gang of Gersons on that yard, man. And you know, once Loke started, you know, Coop, we can't forget about Coop, you know, and Wick Dub, can't forget about Wick Dub. Let me tell you something about Wick Dub from Wicked Style Player. When Wick Dub was on that yard, he resting in peace right now. I don't know what happened to Wick Dub, but everybody know when Wick Dub was on that yard and Wick Dub was in his right mind, Wick Dub was whooping shit out. Wick Dub was putting hands on stuff down there. You remember that? And everything came to a head. It's a good thing I'm on Wick Dub, because everything came to a head. Like I said, I'm going to skip over the bull crap. I'll come back to that. Everything came to a head one day when Keystone was on the basketball court. Y'all remember that? Keystone was on the basketball court. He could play basketball real good. And he got into it with Dread from IE Mob. Y'all remember that? Dread and Keystone got into it. Keystone fired on Dread. Light-skinned Dread, tall, with the freckles. And it was a big old issue. KC, JD, Big Dan, Dread, the boy Quick that walk. Listen, you talk about walk. This boy got the coldest walk. The boy Quick from California, Kitchen, I think from Kitchen Crib. This boy, he walked with his fist balled up, but he walked like he swole and he not. Like he got muscles everywhere and he don't. He got the coldest walk, right? You would think that this dude here was the, I don't know. I don't know where he learned that walk from, if he practiced walking like that, but he got the coldest walk I ever witnessed in my life. For real. But anyway, it's a big old thing. The Cali boys mount up down there by Unit 4. See, this when Unit 4 and Unit 3 was level 1. Alright? Now, many Cali boys. It's about 30 at the most. But it's enough for them to do damage. They got people like Big Dan and JD. JD, them some big old dudes. But it's 1,000 of us. We got too many people. So, instead of us, all the homies wanted to just smash the Cali boys. Because KC was talking too much, you know. And I don't know where he was from. He was a Crip. I don't know where he's from, but he was some type of Crip dude. But the homies wanted to smash him. Let's get him and get him out the way. And Pookie Red said no. Let's match him up. Now, being older, I can understand his logic, but back then I didn't. I'm like, this is why I got stabbed the first time. This is why I got stabbed the second time. Because we was procrastinating when we should have took flight. Now you talking about let's line it up. Because it ain't enough of them. And you cool with some of them for whatever reasons. I ain't lying. He came down there and was like, who got the problem? Which one of y'all got a problem with one of my little homeboys? They'll fight you. All and one of them will fight you. He don't know who wanna fight. And trust me, just cause we was deep, not all of them wanted to fight. Trust me, not all of them wanted to fight. But he putting it out there, they'll fight you. You ain't one of them, pick one, they'll fight you. So, remember I told you the boy that walked like he was tough? He act like he's so anxious, he wanna fight, I put down a demo. He woo woo woo. With Dub say, well, me and you can lock up. So the boy and Wick Dub, they go in the room. They get out. They come out. We got a wave brush, man. A wave brush. And he doing this, waving, he brushing his hair. Like he ain't done nothing. That boy came up out of there. As hard as he walked, I thought he was gonna least. Man, that boy was in there looking. Man, that boy was in there looking like Leon Spinks. Toe up. With Doug put mitts on him. Now the Cali boys really tripping. They mad. Oh boy, he can't deal with the fact that his face is lumped up like that. So he tell with Dub, no, we gotta get out again. We gotta get out again with Dub. Let's go. They go in the room. Come out. Next time with Dub like, y'all better get him. He in there, he don't know where he at, whether he wanna go forward or whether he wanna go backwards. He in there just drunk, leaking blood everywhere. Talking about, nah, leaking blood. Now the Cali boys, they really want to go to work. So the homies like, let's take flight. You know what I mean? Pookie Red like, no. Homies like, what you mean, no? He like, no. So they were like, what? Who else y'all want to fight? So a few people got down, you know, and we didn't like that because some dudes had to fight. Check this out. Whenever you listen, they want to get back because of what happened to their homeboy. So they lined it up with somebody they know they could whoop. Because according to Pookie Red, wasn't nobody turning down no fades. So if you got pointed at, you got to go get out. And dudes pointed at dudes they knew they can whoop. Like most ski. So we took 2 upsets that we didn't have to. The Cali boys can say, yeah, I took that nigga and I mangled that nigga. And we like, nah, it don't go like that. It don't go like that. So J-Lo heated. J-Lo say, hey, check this out, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. As far as I'm concerned, my big homie is you and Touchdown, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you, man, because I don't like that, man. He felt, you know, like everybody else felt. We should have we should have packed him out. Now, you know, they can say they didn't put tips on some of us, and everybody walking around like ain't nothing happened. And we outnumber these cats. They in our backyard. Now, being of mature minded now, I can understand his logic. He was looking at it from a mature standpoint, and I can understand that. You know, everybody, was able to just fight, get it out their system, square it up, whatever. You win some, you lose some. Wasn't no stabbing, wasn't no stompings, wasn't no nothing like that. So it was all good. I understand that now that I'm mature. But back then, that was like hell no. That was like treason. So we was starting to look at Pookie Red unfavorably. We was. And him and Vato kept getting into it, you know. And another thing that was taking place on that yard that was unusual was the Serenos. The Serenos start really separating themselves because see that yard was wide open and a lot of people was on that yard. The Serenos start separating themselves and lining up against the unit down there by Unit 8. They started lining up against the wall when everybody was in front of the coffee shop like they was like scanning, looking, and watching everybody. And it'd be like 200 of them just lined up against the wall, right? And there was this one curly hair with, his name was Neto. He had curly hair. He used to have these two little ones, other Serenos with him, and he used to pace back and forth with his gloves in his hand. And people used to be like, "What they on?" Like, and it looked like they was about to attack, but they never did nothing. And this went on for like a minute. Their behavior started to change. They come outside. I said that they used to break off into sections of fives, and they started doing this paramilitary type training. But now they want something else that they never asked for, which was very foreign to Nevada. They started asking for Mexican tables. They start laying claims to, this is our table. Now, when we go in the kitchen, automatically races segregate themselves. Blacks want to sit with blacks, Mexicans want to sit with Mexicans, and whites want to sit with whites. And the kitchen to shape itself up. 9 times out of 10, there's normally not a issue behind table sitting. But for the first time, the Serenos start saying, this is our table. And whether we here or not, don't sit here. Now, we not really taking this serious because it's only happening in the level 3 section of the prison. So we hearing about it, but we not tripping. All right? Now, me and J-Lo decide to pay Pookie Red a visit. And we go up there to the laundry. And, we start talking, and I guess it was J-Lo's way of trying to see what Pookie Red stayed. And Pookie Red basically was, telling J-Lo, I'm the big homie, basically, what I say goes, type, but he was saying it in a way that, it was respectful. But at the same time, he was like, I'm not going to babysit you, though. So J-Lo was like, we need to call a meeting because everybody need to get on the same page. Because what happened with the Cali boys, we didn't like that. So Pookie Red called a meeting. at this meeting, they used to have these bleachers down there by 3 and 4. 3 and 4 was level 1. When you come out of there were bleachers down there, and there were telephones right next to it in the basketball court. We went and we sat right there in them bleachers. We filled all them bleachers up. That's how many of it was. And when we had that meeting, no need to get to specifics. Let's just say this here. It ended up with Vato and Pookie Red having words, and Pookie Red asking Touchtone, well, what is you? And Touchtone was like, what you mean? Because Touchtone basically, Touchtone was there. Touchtone, listen, Touchtone is like 8 years older than me. Touchtone would have been a Gerson Park killer. They had Touchtone claiming white. When you went in his room, he had a gray towel and a green towel that covered his bed. He had gray and green clothes, and I was like, and you know they was really on that West whacking then. And when I seen him throw it up, I thought he was just, you know, feeling J-Lo like J-Lo the man, woo woo woo. Nah, Touchtone was really claiming whack. For real. Now, when Pookie Red asked Touchtone, what is you? Touchtone said, what you mean? What am I? He said, what is you? You my little homeboy. Touchtone said, yeah, but they my little homeboys. So he's saying, so what you saying? He's saying, I'm saying they my little homeboys. He said, but you my little homeboy though. And Vato said something to Pookie Red, and Pookie Red turned to Vato and he like tried to poke Vato in his Vato face, and Vato flinched at him, and you know we had to separate him. And Pookie Red said, you know what? I'm gonna leave this motherfucking yard, cause if I don't, and he pointed at Vato, he said, I'm gonna kill you. He said, I'm gonna leave. And I was right there. I ain't lying. Pookie Red stayed in 3AB. And he said, I'm gonna leave. He was with Lamont Mitchell. Pookie Red ended up going to the NNCC. J-Lo got his wish. He took over the yard. Well, he had Touchtone thinking he was the leader. Now, with Pookie Red being gone, people like Tony Hines and all them down there. Tony Hines on some other stuff. Him and Moski in the room. Moski came to me one morning. Moski say, hey, big homie, can you talk to Tony Hines? I say, why? He said, man, every time I jump down and I take a pee, man, I turn around, he looking at me, man. I said, what you mean he looking at you? He be looking at me. I said, how he be looking at you? I don't know, man, but I ain't comfortable, man. Can you come on, man? And I'm like, hey, Tony Hines walked up, seen Moski talking to me, tell Moski, hey, come here. Moski like, no, man. He like, hey, come here, man. Let me talk to you. Moski like, no. He say, hey, come here. Let me holler at you. I'm like, hey, Tony, leave him alone, man. He like, I'm not messing with him. He like, yeah, you is, man. He say, nigga, I've been in prison almost 30 years. If you jump down wearing some little ass thermals, nigga, and you put them in my face, I'm gonna look. He told him just like that. I said, this the type of stuff that went on in prison. That's why I hope if you young and you looking at this, you don't go. Alright? Now, we didn't got what we wanted. Mook badass on the yard. Everybody on the yard. Chip White hit the yard. We heard about what happened with Baby Gangster, and you know, the paperwork and him supposed to be in another individual, but we whatever. But Vato was finna bust Chipwhack in the head with a brick, and Chipwhack didn't even know it. You know, so and the only reason why he didn't get hit in the head with that brick is because they didn't have the paperwork, and they just wasn't gonna do nothing to him without no paperwork. Baby Gangsta was at Indian Springs, and they was like, well, we can get the paperwork. So if it's true, then we'll deal with it from there. But that's how bad it was on that yard. So as time went on, I'm gonna be honest with you, I completely lost focus of everything. I was so immersed in drugs and doing drugs. I wasn't working out. I was gone. And Vato used to hit the field and run around the field every day. He used to run his laps and stuff. I was out of it, man. I was out of it, and I started realizing that that medication I used to take. Not only did it have side effects on me, it altered me in a way because I noticed I wasn't the same me. It was like I'm cool one minute and the next minute I'm hella hostile. And it got me in a lot of trouble, not just with COs, but it got me in trouble with a lot of my homeboys. I used to flash on my homeboys and didn't know why I was flashing on them. And two incidents. One, I was trying to bully one of my little homeboys. Listen, this is so crazy. I was in Vato room. Him and Vato was selling. His name is Lil Ronnie, Shorty. And Shorty from Wicked Style Player. Real little bitty dude. Ronnie Dishman's son. His daddy named Ronnie Dishman, right? Don't let him being short fool you, though. Don't let him be short fool. So, I made me a soup. Punk ass top ramen. You know how you make you two soups, a butt naked with nothing in it, and you just eat it. I wanted some hot sauce. And I thought he had some. And he didn't, but I didn't believe him. And I was asking him to give me some hot sauce. And he was laughing like, I ain't got none. I say, what you laughing for? And he was like, I ain't got no hot sauce. So I tripped out on him. You know what I'm saying? I tripped out on him in the room, you know what I'm saying? I started really tripping out on him, calling him out his name, woo, woo, woo. So I guess Touch Tone get word of it. He come over there. So to keep people from in our business, Touch Tone pressed the button, shut the door. So I'm in the room, and I'm talking bad to him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll beat your little ass, woo, 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 woo. I'll roll you up, punk, pussy, woo. I'm talking bad to this dude. Touch standing behind me. I'm not knowing Touch Tone looking at this little man, telling this boy, like, you better, woo, woo, woo. Like, you better fight. And so I put him in a position to where I cornered the cat. And I ain't been working out. I ain't been doing nothing. I wasn't really into what I was saying. I just thought I was going to get away with the words I was saying. I didn't realize, dude, you going to have to back up what you just said right here, right now. You just scared this boy. Now this boy ready to fight. Now you didn't act, you got what you wanted. So when I told him what's happening, he took off his shirt. I'm still talking like, I wish you would take your shirt off. I wish you would take your other shirt off. Nigga, I wish you would put it on the bed. I wish you would put your gloves on. Boy, put that other glove on if you want to. I wish you would though. You didn't square it up too. And next thing you know, I'm not gonna lie. See, I keep it 100. I'm sitting there looking arrogant like, how dare you? And I didn't corner this boy. Listen, he hit me with an overhand. Listen, he's short as it is. So to him, it might have been a jab. But to me, it was an overhand. meant to overkill. Listen, he hit me with an overhand so hard, right? Stagger me. Bam! I immediately grabbed him. And I now I'm wondering, what did I do? I'm asking myself, what did I do? He hit me so motherfucking hard, right? I lost really focus that moment. And I didn't want to be there. But now we tussling him, right? So we scrapping. He picked me up like I wasn't nothing. And we had these tubs, these like gray tubs where you put your clothing or your food in, whichever you prefer. And they got these tops on them, and you can lock them, however you know. But it was a tub right there that was meant to be set on. When he picked me up, he slammed me in that tub, and I was stuck in it. I couldn't move. I was stuck in the tub, like, right? And then when he got up off me, he stood up over me, and he smiled, and he helped me up like a real homie. But I'm not feeling like that, dude. You just slammed me in the goddamn tub, and you just hit me with a haggler overhand. We finna go to war. But I appreciate you helping me out the tub. So as soon as he helped me out the tub, and he helped me up, I fired on his little ass. Now you know he showed I had to swing low. I fired on him. That's all I got in. Look, that little motherfucker, look, he was on me like a pit. We was in there scrapping like a, listen, I couldn't get a hold of him like I wanted to. I couldn't. He was moving so fast. And the next thing you know, I'm biting him. I swear to God, I bit him in his back, bit him, locked on him, and I wasn't letting him go. I wasn't letting him go. I wasn't letting him. Listen, I locked on him. And when I locked on him, I wasn't letting him go. I didn't care. I don't care what nobody say. Hey, call me what you want. I will be that. But yes, when I locked on him, he said, he bite me. Yes, I am. He bite me. So Touchstone was like, let him go, sheep. Let him go. So Touchstone pulling me off from him, right? He got me, and it was so funny, right? He got my whole body pulling me, and the only thing that's on him is my mouth. I would not let him go. He pulling me off of him, and I on him like this here, and I would not let him go. And he, every time he was pulling me, he get to screaming, ah! I'm not letting him go. And I was shaking too on him. I really thought I was a dog. I was shaking on him, boy. I bit the shit out of that. For real. But honestly, that little youngster brought it to me. Brought it to me. I had to bite him and hold on. And hold on. For real. You know. And, after that, that was humiliating because, now people going around saying the big infamous sheepdog, ooh. So I thought about killing that youngster, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, no, you shouldn't have been the bully, you know what I'm saying? That's what being a bully do. When you ask for it and you keep asking for it and you keep asking for it and you think people just go let you just run over them, whether they want to or not, you're gonna meet that one that's gonna stop you. They might not want to, they might not enjoy it, but they're gonna stop you. And it's gonna be bad because some people that don't wanna fight is the worst ones to fight. So if a person wanna walk away, trust me, let them walk away. Let them walk away. Anyway, the second one was, I got a lot of love for Vato. We I never really got into like a lot of details about what me and him did, but we did a lot of stuff. We was close. We used to work out together, put people in all together. Whatever I did, he didn't care. He backed my play. Whatever I did, whatever he did, I backed his play. Vato was my numero uno. And one day I took him in a room and said some things to him that don't need to be repeated. It was just I just flat, and it wasn't nothing he did. There was nothing that led up to it. There was no type of animosity. I just turned on him. I just turned on him. And it wasn't like he kept doing this or he kept doing that. I basically just showed him that I just sometimes people you love can't be trusted. And I brought that up on myself, and I don't have nobody but myself to blame. I'm man enough to admit that. You know, I was I was I was I was I didn't know what was happening to me, but it was the medication. You know, it was the medication, and it was having a messed up effect on me. Then me and J Lo, we was talking one day. Right now, me and Vato, we ain't even communicating. Touch tone is something about everything he doing that's eerie, is weird. I can't put my finger on it yet though. But me and J Lo talking one day, and J Lo telling me a lot of stuff he don't like. Like when he got locked up, he was telling me stuff, and J Lo was going to the administration building, and it was people going around saying, man, Loke, something ain't right. In the yard, his girl got knocked with all that. Y'all remember Loke got caught on visit with all the dope, and they left the little baby out there because the girl got arrested. Loke got locked up. Y'all remember that? And then Loke came to the yard, and that investigator broad that looked like a dude, Damon, kept calling Loke to administration. And so people started saying Loke was telling, because Sweet Pea and Malik went to Indian Springs, and they ended up getting locked up over there under investigation. So remember they was trying to say that, and so everything on the yard was like throwed off. And so Loke was feeling some type of way. Loke was like, they ain't catch me with nothing. You know what I mean? They ain't catch me with nothing. I told him I ain't know what you had on. You know what I'm saying? So I felt him, you know what I'm saying? So I felt where he was coming from, so all that, and when he was having it, everybody was yay, yay, yay. And now that he got popped and he hot, everybody ain't yay, yay, yay no more. And it was particular individuals that was really starting to act funny now. And that was Touch Tone. Touch Tone and the Cali boy JD hooked up. JD became the plug now, especially on the weed. So now the Cali boys got the weed. So Touch Tone ain't acting friendly no more like he was. They done bought the boys from Walla Walla, Seattle down there, and Wyoming. They done bought a bunch of those guys on the yard. So now we got a different type of vibe. And they was down there in 5 and 6. Alright? Now, J-Lo tell me, say, yeah, man. And he starts saying, motherfuckers fake, woo, woo, woo. I'm like, I know who he's talking about. And I was like, that's why I don't get too close to him, you know what I'm saying? He a crackhead, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, man, I looked out for him and Bomber when we was in the hole, man, woo, woo, woo. I said, yeah, I know Bomber, man, and I mean, and I said this, and I said it again. I said, yeah, I remember me and Bomber was in the county jail, and I do, right around '93 when I was fighting my case, and Bomber and his sister Leslie came in for robberies and burglaries or whatever. And I went to court one day with Leslie Brown, and she told me that man Bomber told on her. his own sister. So I told J-Lo what, she told me. Hey, man, shit. His own sister told me that Obama told on her about some burglaries or some robberies or something they did. Woo, woo. J-Lo, he go back and tell Touchtone. Touchtone come over there. That's how we getting down. So what you talking about? Man, Obama told on woo, woo, woo. I say that's what your sister said. Yeah. Like I'ma deny it. He like, I don't know nothing about that. I was like, well, didn't Leslie go to the joint? He was like, yeah. I say, did Obama go? He was like, I don't know nothing about that. I was like, but didn't your sister go to the joint? He was like, yeah. I said, but did Obama go? I don't know nothing about that. I was like, all right. But I'm not tripping about that. I'm mad J-Lo told him, so I went over there and got it low. Hey, man. You went and told Touchtone I told you. He said, nigga, you did. I said, I know I did. But you went back and told him? Yeah. I'm like, wow. So me and Lope, we get into it. And it's all frustration. It's all frustration. Ain't no more dope. Ain't no more money. Everybody broke. So everybody miserable. Ain't no love. So we all getting into it to the point to where Leilani and Vato got down. We started fighting each other. J-Lo done stole on Thunderbird. He done got him strung out on meth. Look what Thunderbird do. He the barber, mind you. He done got strung out on meth on the yard. So he ain't just messing up people happy. This boy then got so full of his package, he went up there to the chapel and went in the chapel. And y'all remember this. Donald Byrd went up and unzipped his pants and pulled his and put it on the chapel desk. They said, what could you do with this? They had him in so many choke holds and arm locks and leg locks coming up out of there. For real. Y'all remember that chaplain? He was shot 9-9 for sure. Y'all remember him? He got fired because he was shot 9-9. And if y'all don't know what shot 9-9 mean, that's a term cornbread invented. Shot 9-9. That means shenane. But anyway, so everything is going to bits. We got Shorty Paul on the yard. DEA, CIA, Mossad ass. Shorty Paul on the yard, right? Oh my God. And it's another thing happening. The Muslims and Sabir. And when I come back, we go get into Sabir and the Muslims and what led up to the woe with the Sereno that cost Shorty from Sereno's his life in 2004. The ride that changed it all from the ground up. Stay tuned. Cold episode.